I have been a fan of Godzilla for as long as I can remember. I'm pretty sure my first introduction to the character was by playing Godzilla Domination on my sister's Game Boy. Then my mom would rent Godzilla movies from a movie store whenever she went, and I fell in love with the character. I enjoy a lot of geeky things, for lack of a better term. These things include Transformers, Marvel, Dragon Ball Z, and so on, but if I'm honest, I think I love Godzilla the most because it was the first thing I've ever geeked out on. So, when I found out that Legendary was making a cinematic universe with Godzilla and Kong, which is another monster I fell in love with, I couldn't be more excited. So after many delays, I finally got to see Godzilla vs. Kong, and I just felt like a kid once again. I might be a little biased because it's a movie about two monsters I like, but I genuinely thought this was a good movie, and it seems like a lot of people did as well. So first, I'm going to talk about the things I like, the things I thought could have been better, and the things in between. The first thing I want to talk about are the three main monsters. Kong was basically the main character of the film, which makes sense because we are able to connect with Kong since he has human-like emotions rather than Godzilla. Kong was the hero of the film, and we get to follow him on his journey of officially becoming a king and exploring his past, which is something I'll touch on later. On the other hand, we see Godzilla as the villain, which was great. In this universe, Godzilla has been the hero, and it was nice to see Godzilla go back to his roots and be an actual menace to society. Sadly, I did not go into this film blind. I knew the big spoiler for like a year, thanks to a leaked photo of the toys, but I was still excited to see Mechagodzilla appear on screen. I hear a lot of people had a problem with his design, but honestly I thought it was fine. Especially for this universe, and the way that he used Ghidorah's heads to control the mech was so genius. Like, it actually blew my mind. The next thing that I loved about this film was the action. Oh my goodness. The fights between Godzilla and Kong were so good. Especially the fight in Hong Kong that you can actually see what was going on, even though it was at night. The fights were choreographed in such a unique way, it felt more realistic. Like if these two actually existed, I feel like they would fight like wild animals. Which, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen before. It was brutal, it stayed in frame and there were no cutaways. We can't forget about the GOAT himself, Tom Hokenberg. When they released Godzilla and Kong's theme on YouTube like a couple weeks ago, I actually got goosebumps listening to Godzilla's theme. And hearing the rest of the soundtrack in the theater made it so much better. Godzilla's theme really emphasized the fact that he was a villain and he meant business, and Kong's theme was more calm and sympathetic. Another thing I loved about this film were the villains. Their plans and intentions were so cheesy but in a good way. It reminded me of an older Godzilla film. We didn't need some Thanos type villain where we could sympathize with them or understand where they're coming from. Walter Simmons' plans were straightforward and evil, and I loved it so much. And last but not least, I liked the fact that there was an actual winner. So even though it was Team Godzilla, repping for the best team, I honestly thought Kong was going to win the fight. He was set up as the hero, and I thought if he defeated Godzilla, then that's when he'll officially become King Kong. But Kong actually loses. I thought it'd be like the 1962 film where King Kong wins. And I always said that if Godzilla and Kong, actually fought, Godzilla would destroy Kong. But actually seeing it, it left me happy and surprised at the same time. So, those are the things I loved about the film, and now I want to talk about some of the things that I didn't really love, but also didn't bother me too much. Like a middle ground. Something that has been difficult for a lot of monster movies to pull off, especially recent ones, are having good human characters. The good thing about this film is that it wasn't too focused on these human characters. There was a nice balance between monsters and humans, but the humans were basically just cardboard cutouts. They were there just to push the plot forward, which for this type of movie where it was just focused on the fight between the two monsters, worked, but at the same time, it would have been nice to have memorable human characters that weren't just plot devices. Except for Gia. Gia was great. Now for the things I thought could have been handled better. There are three things that I wish they explored more. Throughout the film, there was this guy played by Shun Uguri, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, that was with Walter Simmons the entire time. And every time Walter would say his name, I wasn't sure if I was hearing him right. I was like, there's just no way he's saying Serizawa. But he was. Aguri's character was named Ren Serizawa. He was the son of Ishiro Serizawa. And when I found that out, I was so disappointed. Apparently, the reason why Ren is working with Apex, the company that created Mechagodzilla, is because Ren was angry that his father had a greater love for monsters more than him. And they did not mention that in the movie at all. Just mentioning that, just bringing that up would have given his character more depth. And he died, so we definitely aren't getting that in the sequel. Another thing I wish they explored was the ancient rivalry between Kong and Godzilla. They kept talking about a rivalry and a war in the trailers, and I'm pretty sure you can read about it in the tie-in novels, but they never mention it in the film. Like when Kong pulls out an axe made from an ancestor of Godzilla's spine from the skull of an ancestor of Godzilla, I thought they would bring up the fact that their species has been fighting for years, but they didn't. And I was sitting there like, oh, okay. Then the last thing I wish they explored are the other kaiju. In the beginning, where they show Godzilla and Kong defeating the other monsters, which is probably one of the best intros to a movie I've ever seen, they showed a lot of monsters like Rodan and Behemoth with the word defeated over top of them. So it had me wondering if Godzilla and Kong killed these other kaiju, or did they just submit to the alphas? I don't know, and they definitely didn't bring it up, so if they're dead, I think that would be pretty sad because we won't be able to see or learn about these monsters if there's ever a sequel. So, is Godzilla vs. Kong the best movie in the Monsterverse? In my opinion, yes. I think it beats Kong Skull Island just by a little. Just a little though. A teeny bit it beats Kong Skull Island. Like I said, I may be a little biased, and people definitely have the right to their own opinion, but I feel like people who call this movie trash are just looking for the wrong things in this type of movie. This movie was not meant to be artistic. It was an action blockbuster made for movie monster fans, and Adam Wingard delivered what was promised. This is me going off the top of my head. I didn't write this down. But you can see his love for monster movies and Godzilla and Kong throughout the entire film. And it's just a good movie for you to enjoy. So, yeah, that's my review on Godzilla vs. Kong.